Hello, Lacey Birch here. Hope you're doing well. Guapo is here with me too. Um, I wanted to offer a yin yoga practice this month alongside my newsletter. Um, it's been a really crazy start to the year. And I've been noticing a lot of tension and like fear in my body. And so I have been trying to utilize yin practices a little bit more, particularly like as I'm unwinding from the day. I sometimes struggle to fall asleep, and doing a yin practice as a part of like my unwinding routine has helped me. So I thought I would offer the same to you, and in the hopes that we could all find a little relief. If you'd like to practice this yin practice with me today, a yoga mat might be helpful, perhaps some yoga blocks or some heavy books, pillows, blankets, towels, your favorite furries, whatever you got. You're welcome to follow along with me. You're also welcome to choose your own shapes or choose your own movements during this time. It's also possible that you could choose rest during this time. Everything here is your choice. This is your practice, and you're welcome to move in any way that suits you today. Okay, so I'm going to offer six shapes today. The first shape I'd like to offer is actually a good old child's pose. So when you're ready, you might come to your mat. Perhaps bringing the knees with mat widths distance apart, bringing your big toes to touch. And you might rest your forehead on the mat. You could choose to keep the arms bent or straight. And you'll want to get as comfortable as you can in each of these shapes. In a yin practice, we hold shapes for a little bit longer so that we can work on releasing some of the fascia and connective tissue. And so, if you can get yourself in a place where you're comfortable, you're more likely to begin to rest your body, and it's easier to unwind those layers if you can find some ease in the shapes. And as you settle in here, you might notice that you're breathing. Perhaps just noticing that you're breathing without needing to change your breath or fix it. Just allowing whatever breathing pattern is there to be there with you. And perhaps softening the jaw, maybe softening the tops of the shoulders. You might even say out loud or quietly to yourself that it's okay to relax. and let go right now. It's okay to release. And we'll hang out here for just a couple of more breaths. The next shape that I'd like to offer is a thread the needle shape. So it'll be a twist. And as you happen to inhale, you might bring your weight forward onto your hands, coming into like a tabletop position for a second. And you might wiggle or waggle the hips or the shoulders. And as you next happen to inhale, you might lift the right arm. And as you exhale, you might begin to thread the right arm underneath the left arm. You might bring the side of your right head to lie on the mat, perhaps walking your left fingertips forward. And possibly tucking the toes if you'd like a little more support or balance here. And again, just making any adjustment that you need so that nothing is uncomfortable. Yin stretches, we usually say should be like a 6 on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of intensity. So perhaps not your strongest stretch ever, but somewhere in the middle so that you can maintain and begin to find all the layers of your body that need release. And you could be noticing that you're breathing in this shape. And if it feels available to you, possibly beginning to smooth the breath, allowing the inhales and the exhales to become smooth and possibly a little longer. And when you're ready to come into the second side, you might walk your left fingertips back so they're under your left shoulder once more, pouring the weight back into your left side, unwinding the right, and coming back to tabletop. And perhaps just noticing the effects of the practice so far on how your body feels, how your energy feels. And as you happen to inhale, lifting the left arm and threading it under the right, placing your left side on the mat, walking the right fingertips forward, making any adjustments you need along the way. And perhaps softening the belly in this shape that feels available to you. And you did so on the first side, or maybe you're ready to explore smoothing the breath. On this side, perhaps exploring smoothing and lengthening your breath, the inhaling and the exhaling. Just a few more breaths on the second side. And after your next exhale, you might walk your right fingertips back under your right shoulder, unwinding the left side, coming back into tabletop. And I'd like to offer pigeon pose for our next shape. And we'll do that by starting in a downward facing dog. So you might walk your hands forward of your shoulders, tucking the toes, lifting the hips up and back, keeping a soft bend in your knees. Allowing some width across your collarbones. And as you're ready, you might lift the right leg up and back. You could open up the hip, bending the knee, bringing your right knee into your chest, unplacing the shin on the mat in front of you. I always need to scooch back a little bit on the left side. Now you could place a pillow, blanket, towel underneath your right hip. And it might feel interesting to just stay upright in your pigeon today. But you also might prefer to fold forward over the legs or over the front leg, I should say. I like to place a block on my forehead. Could also use a pillow or anything else you have on hand. Mm. Getting as comfortable as you can. Pigeon can be a really intense shape for many of us. And so if you're noticing any pain, particularly in your knee, you might want to come into a different stretch during this time. And you're welcome to do so. We're going to hang out here for a little while. And I'm going to allow my voice to be quiet for a period of time. Now, you're welcome to perhaps do some breath work during this time. That might be counting your breath or perhaps just noticing when you're inhaling and exhaling. You might tune into sensations in your body, whatever you choose. The best you can when the mind wanders, and it will. Keep coming back to your body and to sensation. And so I'm going to quiet my voice in three, in two, and one. And perhaps coming back to your breathing. And just allowing for a few more moments of release. You're welcome to come out of the pose at any time if things become too intense or uncomfortable. Or maybe you just come out because you want to. That's an option as well. And as we transition from this side to the second side, you might come back into your downward facing dog for a moment just to allow some blood flow to the legs. And so perhaps walking the hands back to the shoulders, tucking the toes, and stepping the right leg back just for a moment and downward facing. Noticing how you feel. And as you're ready, lifting the left leg up and back, perhaps opening up the hip, and bending the left knee, bringing the left shin down to your mat, placing something under your bum if you'd like a little support. And you might stay upright in your pigeon shape, or you might walk your hands forward, resting your forehead on a block, on a pillow, or your mat. If you find that there's tension in your jaw, perhaps relaxing the jaw, relaxing the tongue, and the throat, relaxing the tops of your shoulders. And perhaps you're noticing that one side feels a lot different than the other side. This second side is my trouble side. This is the side that feels much more sensation. Mm. And continuing to return to your breathing. Now quiet my voice once more on this side. And count your breath or simply follow your inhales and exhales. Breathing into any pockets of tension. And I'll begin to quiet my voice in 3, 2, and 1. Gently coming back to the breath. And inviting your body to find ease just in these last few moments on the second side. And in your own time, making your way back into downward facing, walking the hands back towards the hips, plucking the toes on the right leg, and stepping the left leg back. And just hanging out in your downward facing for a second, just noticing how things are feeling now. And for our next shape, I'd like to offer a wide legged forward fold, although you're welcome to come into any shape you like. And so you might come to sit on your mat, bringing your legs into like a V shape. And you might want to prop your sit bones up by sitting on a blanket or a small pillow. I've been enjoying that a lot lately. And perhaps grabbing a bed pillow or something cozy. You can nestle your prop right up into your hips so that you can fold forward over your pillow. And you can also use a block on your forehead if you prefer. Um, And you can also use any combination of these props. If you need a little bit more height, you might use both. And so perhaps taking a second to ground your sitting bones into your prop or into your mat, relaxing the toes, the ankles, the shins, the knees, and the hip sockets. And as you're ready, walking your hands forward, folding over your legs any amount. And possibly attempting to come into the most comfortable version of this shape that you can, using any combination of props that you like. And you might choose movement here. You might choose to, on the inhale, lengthen through the spine. And exhale, allowing the spine to curve and relax. You might prefer to remain in a static stretch, whatever is calling to you today. And so we'll hang out here in this forward fold for a little while. I'm going to quiet my voice again. And you might choose to send your breath into any pockets of tension that you're finding in this shape. I'll be going quiet in 3, 2, 1. Gently coming back to your breathing. Perhaps noticing sensations in the back of your legs. Just allowing for another 30 seconds or so, inviting the body to release anything else. Just slowly and carefully walking the hands back, coming back to a seated upright position, and perhaps just taking a second to notice how your body feels. For our last shape, I'd like to offer Savasana, of course. And so you might bring your big comfy pillow to the lower half of your mat so you can place it under your knees or your thighs for some support. You may also choose to come to a Shavasana without props. I've also been liking having my head under um, having a pillow under my head. I mean, I've got that yoga scrambly brain. I hope you do too. And so as you're settling into your resting shape, perhaps checking back in with the jaw, releasing any tension in the jaw. Allowing the body to be heavy, allowing the floor beneath you to support you. And if you're interested in some visualization as we move to the end of our practice, you might notice a pinprick of light, or imagine a pinprick of light at the center of your chest. And as you happen to inhale, that tiny pinprick of light expands. And on your exhale, it begins to contract back towards that tiny piece of light. Inhaling, expanding the light. And exhaling, shrinking the light back down to the center of your chest. And as you continue tracing the expansion and contraction of this light, you might notice a particular color that the light is becoming. And as you continue here, perhaps the breath or the light continues expanding. Perhaps the light now includes your entire torso. Maybe the light extends down towards your feet and up to the top of the head, the crown of the head. Just imagining your light expanding around your entire body, and allowing yourself to be held and protected by this light. And slowly begin to deepen your breath. You're welcome to remain in your resting shape for as long as you like. You might also choose to begin some movement, bringing movement back into the body. Mm. And in your own time, perhaps coming back to a seated upright shape, allowing any snap, crackle, or pops to happen. And just in our final moments together, perhaps bringing the palms to touch at the midline, and feeling your sitting bones rooted down to the earth beneath you. And perhaps just extending some gratitude towards yourself for taking this time for you. I hope you enjoyed this practice. I hope you found it useful. Hope your body is feeling better, and I hope you found some ease in your mind. Namaste.